Hello, and welcome to Twin Peaking, where I showed my friend Jay my personal list of worst to best episodes of Twin Peaks, and she sees if she can figure out what the show is. If you're liking the show, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and tell anyone you think might be interested. Also, please make sure to go follow my friend Jay at twitch.tv/JanuaryK. That's January Kay. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, Jay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mac?
Doing all right. I think this has been a pattern. I think I'm cursed. Because I was overloaded with work this week, so I wasn't able to get any of the Yakuza stuff out. And then as I'm recording for that I need to record some Death Stranding footage for a thing I'm working on. And so I was going to stream that, but then that didn't end up working out. So I need to record that separately. And then I was going to stream yesterday with everybody. And the stairs outside my apartment, the concrete stairs, are fucking busted.
Oh.
And so all day yesterday, I had to listen to construction right outside my door until about 8:30 last night.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's
which
worst.
also stops me from recording Yakuza. Because of all the construction noise. So I haven't been able to upload any Yakuza this week because I had overtime at work, and then finally being home had construction outside, and it's like, okay, I think I just have to.
Oh, that's sucky.
Absolute nightmare. How are you doing?
I am doing good. Mac, can I tell you a story about the dream I had the other night?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, please.
So I haven't been able to, because I rewatch the podcast episodes when you post them.
Right.
But I haven't been able to rewatch the one before this one. That this is gonna time when these episodes are recorded. But I haven't been able to watch Missing Pieces and the one before that. And so last night, or all day yesterday and last night, I was listening to the podcast, be listening and trying to catch up with those. And I guess my mind was I fell asleep listening to Missing Pieces the other night. And so I guess my brain was on Missing Pieces or just Twin Peaks in general. And so I had a dream the other night where I wanted to look up the Log Lady videos.
Right.
And so I Googled them. But then I guess I just clicked on the Wikipedia page of the Log Lady. And in the Wikipedia page of the Log Lady, it says the Log Lady is actually Teresa Palmer in disguise or something like that. And that the log that she carries is actually Cooper's soul. And it's his soul from the future, and it's telling the Log Lady the events that are going to happen in Cooper's future and blah 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 blah. And in my dream, Mac, I was so upset. I was like, why did I look this up? I ruined the podcast. It's done forever. And then I messaged you about it in my dream, and I was like, I'm sorry, Mac, everything's ruined. And being you, Mac, you're like, no, it's okay, Jay. It's fine. We'll get through this. But I was legitimately upset. I was super sad in my dream about it. And then I woke up. And when I woke up, when you first wake up and you're kind of a little what's happening kind of deal. I woke up thinking that I did spoil myself.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh my God, that's so upset. And then I fell back asleep. This was at 4 a.m. or something when I woke up again.
So I don't know if that's necessarily the time frame, because in the messages that I got, we were previously talking about this whole AI Darth Vader thing and being depressed about the laws of that AI hasn't caught up, and that it is a useful tool and that there is some potential there, but also it's bad for the environment, having a whole in-depth conversation about AI and the real problem is that laws haven't caught up to give safeguards to it, right? And so we were having that conversation.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, you're like, just FYI, I love Hawk. He's so cool. What a cool dude. And And then the next day when I wake up, I'm like, so I thought I shared like a Twin Peaks theme that caused you to say that. So I tried to find out what you're saying about it. And then hours later, you're like, actually, I had a dream last night about our podcast. So out of nowhere at 11, when we were talking about AI the time before, like hours before, you were suddenly like, oh yeah, and also I love Hawk. And I'm like, fair enough, because like I had just been sending stuff to other friends. I'm I'm watching Twin Peaks with another friend, Evie, and send stuff to my mom periodically. And so like there was one where it's like, oh, what roommate would you want to live with? And it's like a bunch of people. And I'm like, I can't send that to you because I have spoilers.
Okay.
And then there was another one that was like fuck, marry, kill, Harry Truman, Big Ed, and Hawk. Right.
Okay.
And like I had responded to that in the Reddit, right? But I was like, so when you say I love Hawk, I'm like, did I send you a screenshot of that? Like, did I say that? Like, I don't know. Also, for anyone who didn't see my message in the Reddit, I will answer that here. My fuck, marry, kill is you marry Hawk, obviously.
Okay, obvious.
Obviously,
that's
like
right
doesn't need explanation. You fuck Harry because it's gonna be nasty on the rebound, and then you kill Ed because to put him out of his will they won't they like misery, you know.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. I see the vision. I see it. Okay. Yeah. I get you.
Yeah. Do you have an opinion on that, or does it pretty much align there?
That is exactly how I would probably put it. I love Hawk. Like, if I could have a big poster of Hawk in my room, I probably would. Yeah. That's great.
I love him. I like, spoilers for next holiday gift I get you. I'm gonna need to see if there is a poster of Hawk in particular to send you, because that's so choice.
It is.
Like out of the characters, Hawk is like, I think potentially a top 3 character. I'm sitting here thinking of who I think. I mean, it's tough because Coop's obviously up there, Audrey's obviously up there, and then Hawk. Yeah. Right? Like I feel like that's about correct. Like I'm trying to think if anyone displaces Hawk. And if I do know anyone, it may be spoilers for you. Actually, I did think of someone, but that is spoilers for you.
Okay.
I'm going to say the name because you have no context for who they are. Janie E, I think, would overtake Hawk for me personally. But like you don't know who that is, so we'll set that aside. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
All right, that's enough of a cold open, I think. That's like a longer cold open than we typically have for this shit. So
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go. Cut that out. I'm not keeping that in.
Okay. Oh my god, and that's where it ends. Oh my god, oh my god.
Editor Paul Trejo. Which is funny because I'm going to be talking some shit on the editing again. So it is funny that it's him twice. So, hey, Jay.
Hey, Mac. You're going to have fun editing the reaction.
Oh, it's not too bad. It's not like we talked a ton, which is actually a little bit harder, actually. Yeah, let's see. So this was season 2, episode 21. Miss Twin Peaks.
Miss Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Fitting title.
Yeah, what do you make of that title? Anything that you...
No commentary. Good title.
Yeah. What? How do you think this relates to the episode that we... Okay. Yeah, what'd you think of the episode, Jay?
Oh, okay. I actually got overall, before we get into it, overall, this episode made me feel like I was watching Twin Peaks again for the first time, but I knew all of the characters that was on screen. So it made for a better viewing experience. So I quite enjoyed this episode.
Question on that. Like,
yes.
Do you relate that to more of like what you've seen of the early days, or what are you talking about, like when we first jumped in and it was like, do you know what I mean?
I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect kind of deal. Like I felt very much like a fish out of water, especially with the very first shot after the opening credit sequence of the show.
Yeah.
Like I felt very like, what is happening? What's going on? But because like I knew the characters, I was like in it. I was in it already kind of deal. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. Any thoughts in particular that you want to talk about this episode, or should we just get into it scene by scene?
Let's get into it scene by scene, because from the first scene, I have a lot of things to say.
Yeah. Do you actually mind sending me your notes early on this one first, so I can follow along with that? Because you have a lot of thoughts that I'm sure I'll want to touch on. I also have a lot of thoughts. So actually, before we get into that, if I know I was usually try to save this for later, but and I will get into it more later. But something to keep in mind is that we've talked about it a few times now, that I would actually rate this a couple episodes lower than I put it in.
Oh,
here
really?
Currently.
Okay.
Yeah. This watch through, I had thought like I would probably switch. I would probably bump this down to 37, and which is season 1, episode 7, and bump that up one, and bump season 2, episode 5 up one, and I'd probably rearrange it that way.
Okay. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, keeping that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do.
All right.
Yeah. Here, I'll let you take the lead to see what you figure out. Yeah.
All right. So the very first scene is Leo in General. I'm gonna keep calling him General. I know.
No, for sure. I say Major because that's what I think of him as the Major. But like for sure, we've covered this. We literally covered this in an episode where I like early on we're like, I did correct you just so like anybody who's watching is like, it's actually Major, and then you're like, no, fuck those people, I'm gonna keep calling him General. And so I'm fully in support of that. I just say Major because that's how it is in my brain. So
all right, Leo and the General. We see the General out of it, passed out, drugged up. We also see Leo reaching for the key. He grabs the key, tries unlocking himself, but cannot. So he unlocks the General instead. And he tells the General to save Shelly. The scene continues with the General escaping. Wyndham Earl comes in and tells Leo, I'm very disappointed that you let the General go. And then he was like, I'm gonna get my queen tonight. And then it zooms in on a playing card that has Shelly's face imposed on the queen. So yeah, that's that scene.
A few notes on that real quick. That initial opening shot is held for such a long time, which I think is very interesting. So like I have conflicted feelings about this director, Tim Hunt. No, Tim Hunter. Sorry. I think his name is, because he directs a few different episodes of Twin Peaks, and each one, I like parts of it. I'm like, oh, this is such an interesting choice in shot composition, and it does some interesting stuff, and that happens in this one too. Something I'm going to bring up in a second as well. But then I also don't like it a lot because a lot of it feels unmotivated, and it kind of bounces around a lot, and like part of that is the editing. We'll get into that with more of the episodes, but I think like the scene to scene editing isn't particularly strong in this episode, which is Paul Trejo, which was funny when we figured out it was him again. where we've called him out specifically before, but yeah, no, Tim Hunter, like I didn't. he does some interesting shots, but a lot of those shots feel unmotivated. Like it's hard. But then sometimes he nails it. So he's in this weird spot for me. But there's this particularly interesting shot in that it opens on with Leo reaching and holding on that. And then when Wyndham comes back in and he has like his face painted white and the black teeth, we get like a straight on view as he's talking to the camera, which is Leo in this moment. And highlighting it, and so like that's really interesting as a choice, you know. But yeah, so just wanted to highlight that. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah. Going into the scene itself, okay, so because I've been rewatching the podcast episodes recently, I made a point in a previous episode where I have more sympathy for Leo because I came from the other direction, right?
Yes.
And so I strongly felt that way through watching this first scene, like in the reaction, like I'm cheering for Leo. I was like, oh my God, my boy, like let him be free. I was very worried for him. And I know, I'm curious, I guess, of your thoughts, Mac, because you've seen the abusive side of Leo. And so I want to hear your thoughts as to what your reaction was the first time you watched this scene and seeing Leo in this state kind of deal.
So I've always had this problem of and we've kind of discussed it earlier of like, it's hard to tell whether they're trying to give a redemption arc to him or not, because there's a lot of very soap opera parts of this show. It's something it's like riffing on a lot and like actually just being, right? And so like that's a very soap opera turn of like this person who was a villain now is suddenly a good guy, and like or is in a situation where like this other villain is worse and it's turning him into a good guy, or we're supposed to feel sympathy. But like because the abuse was so grounded in earlier episodes, and there's a few scenes that stick out to me that I think we've covered, but I don't remember, so I'm not going to say them. But like of like very like real abuse, like not like played up for like soap opera abuse. It's not like, it's like, oh, like bad, like it's hard to fit those two things together, you know? And so like I get confused on more of a meta level of what I'm supposed to be feeling about all of this. And you brought up a good point of like a big reason why that happens is like this abuse of Leo isn't happening to the same Leo that did all those things. He's in like this altered mental state, and like excuse me. I think that like you really highlighted the problem with that entire thing. Is like, if it was actually him, like I don't know how you handle it, because you also brought up that thematically it's like to juxtapose like an innocent form versus like Wyndham's evil and all that, and I get that, but like I just think it's all handled very poorly. And the first time I watched through this, I was cheering for Leo, but only because the major is there, not because not because I particularly care for Leo one way or the other. I just feel a meta level of confusion for him, like you know, like because for me that's how I consume a lot of stuff, is like simultaneously as consuming it, I can get into the, you know, Watsonian version of it, but then I get into the Doyleist simultaneously in reading the meta textual stuff of it and read like that's just how I consume media. And so like I don't feel much about the Leo thing besides maybe sometimes thinking some of the comedy is good in there, and appreciating the actors acting in it as being like brain dead Leo, but like I didn't care.
That's fair. Yeah, I will touch upon this in case you're watching this episode for the first time. If you've never seen anything that we've put out previously with this podcast, I came from the other direction.
What a fucking wild choice! Hey, but like, what a fucking wild choice that would be.
That would be be crazy, wouldn't it?
Like, no matter how you view it, because like if you're gonna go chronologically with this still wouldn't be the first one.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you're going in order, like,
imagine choosing this as the first episode of the podcast that you see.
You know, we take all folks. Anyways, if this is your first episode, welcome, you wild person.
Crazy.
You're welcome here, but also what's wrong with you? Like,
the big majority chunk that I've seen of Leo has been him in that, you know, vegetative state. And so it's like I see this man who has, like, you know, been abused by Wyndham Earl trying to fight back against his abuser is like, it's interesting. I do agree though that it is handled poorly. Like the whole situation with Leo is it's not great because like, I'm going to bring up the point again and I'll touch on it briefly, but like, this is I agree that the abuse, the karma that Leo obtains and then is directed back at him through Wyndham Earl is not the same Leo. Like it's two very different characters in my head. And because I never saw the connection of the two characters, I think I have separated them as two completely separate people. And so to see, you know, my boy Leo, my poor vegetative state man, Leo, fight back against Wyndham Earl and save General Briggs, and then he has that line of like save Shelley, it hits different for me.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's fair, but like his whole save Shelley thing, I'm like, see, like that's where on a meta level, I'm like, are they trying to redeem Leo with this?
Exactly.
And I'm like,
yes,
you didn't do a good job of that.
yes, I agree. I 100% agree with that because like I've seen the starting point and I've seen the ending point, and I don't think I'm going to like what they do between it. You know, like I think
at this point you've seen. To be fair, I mean, you haven't seen all of him being abusive because we haven't missed that part, but like you've seen him be a little bit abusive. Then you saw him in his comatose state. You saw him make these plans that put him there to a degree. I don't think you saw what exactly happens to him, but you've heard that he gets shot.
Yeah, I haven't.
You have heard that he gets shot, and that's what puts him in there. And then you've seen him be vegetative. So you've technically seen all the different stages of it. Just you've seen more of this stage of it.
Yeah.
So like, you've seen the development of how this happens mostly, and so it's It makes me feel weird about it. It makes me feel weird. Like they are very much two separate people entirely in my brain. Like if the abuse was done like as like soap opera abuse, like not to say like whatever, but like, you know, you treat it as heavy as the show treats it. And the show treats the abuse pretty heavy. If the show treated that part of him like not light, but like as like soap opera, then this turn would be like, yeah, Leo, let's go. You're redeeming yourself. But they didn't. They're like, this is real.
He is a full-on asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a full-on like
there's people
abuser.
There's people who watch this first two seasons of the show and think Leo is the worst person in the show. And
no, exactly. That is the first thing that they see about him when they first watch it.
Well, you also have like Wyndham, who is evil, but he's so cartoonishly evil that it's like that's not real evil. Right, you know, and like so, and you have like, you know, Hank, who seems like this like real bad guy and has some real version of that, but like isn't like he is abusive, but in a very different way of like hiding and emotional manipulation, not like in the same way. And so like, it's Leo's the most real world evil person in the show, and then you have this. You know, it's weird.
It's weird. Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's so like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch more of season 1 for my definitive opinion of Leo. But basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is like it skews positive right now for Leo, but I hate that it skews positive.
You recognize that is you recognize that is a warped perception because of the way you've watched it. Yeah. 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a lot of time we just spent on the first scene.
I know. That was like 10 minutes on the. I'm gonna move on to the next scene.
not. We both have time, so it's fine. But also, like,
yeah. We should not torture our audience with 4-hour-long podcast episodes.
Or we do. I'm sure people like that. Like, there's some freaks out there who like that. You know, like.
The next scene is at the diner where Norma is making a bunch of pies, and then Shelly and Annie are there, and they're talking about Miss Twin Peaks.
There's a very cute moment where they're like, "Oh, which one of us are you gonna vote for?"
Yes,
it's very cute. Yep.
Yes. The next scene after that is Audrey and Ben.
I have a lot to talk about this scene too. Oh my god. I
have a lot to talk about this
one
too.
Oh my god. We're never gonna get through this.
We're never getting through this. Audrey is upset about Jack because Jack leaves. I don't know the reasons why yet, but Jack has left. Ben tries to comfort his daughter, but also there's an agenda with Ben and his daughter, and how he wants his daughter to make a speech about the Ghostwood project.
I'm going to argue with you here because you read that the same way a lot of people do, and I read this completely differently.
Well, okay. I'm just writing it scene by scene. I'm not 100%. Talking about my feelings about it.
No, 100%. Yes.
Audrey brings up like the Packards and the money and the Ghostwood project, and how Ben encourages his daughter to talk about it during her Miss Twin Peaks speech, but Audrey's like, I don't really want to. But then Audrey does anyway by the end of the episode. And then I find out that the theme of Miss Twin Peaks is about the environment in general. At the beginning of the scene, Ben talks about philosophy and like the being a good person and stuff like that. And he has books about it that he's going to read. And that is the scene right there. The thoughts that I have on the scene, I've been watching the previous episodes of our podcast, and I mentioned in a previous episode how Ben doesn't quite redeem himself yet because he doesn't quite, like, he says that he's going to be a good guy from now on after he has his mental health break with his Confederacy little adventure, and he doesn't really acknowledge the work that his daughter has gone through in order to keep the place running, essentially, while he's on his adventure. And I liked seeing that it seems like Ben and Audrey have a better relationship now. Like, he is like, I like seeing that their relationship has evolved from something that was contentious previously, especially after the couple episodes of season 1 that I've seen. And now it's like, he actually cares about his daughter and her well-being, and like he sees that she's upset about Jack, and he gives her like life advice. And it's just like, it's a side of Ben Horn and the relationship, like father-daughter relationship, that I haven't seen yet. And so to see that this is like the end of season 2 essentially, and they have that relationship, it makes me feel better about Audrey as a character. Like, I'm glad that she gets like the support that she needs from her father. So I like seeing that. I like seeing that a lot. I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but
I consume a lot of podcasts, and a lot of the Twin Peaks ones talk about this scene of like not believing that Ben's actually better and being this, and particularly because he does push her towards the Miss Twin Peaks thing. And he so clearly realizes that he's getting caught up in his own thing, stops that to talk about Audrey and her breakup, whatever, with Jack, and like really tries to comfort her and like really works on that. And like there's a sweet little line of where he's like, you know, I promise he'll be back for you and all this, and she's like, well, you can't promise that, but I'm glad that you tried to promise that, right? Which is really sweet between the two. And then she's like, so I would like to, she's the one who takes the lead on the business side of being like, yes, I want to talk about what happened in Seattle and what I found out there. And then like, as she says that, he comes up with this plan of like, oh, they don't want eyes on this deal going down in Ghostwood. You can bring this up during the Twin Peaks thing. That's like the biggest publicity thing we can do. So it's like now following along with that. And what I like about this entire thing is that like it shows that like that version of Ben is still kind of in there, but that he is working on it, that he is growing, and that like there is a conflict in that he's working on, which I think is always going to be more interesting and more realistic than him suddenly actually just being a good person. Secondarily to that, we see later in this episode that she doesn't participate in the rest of the Twin Peaks pageant. She like her whole thing is like, I don't want to be dressed up in this outfit and sexualized and doing all this and doing the dance and doing and like, so she doesn't. She just gives a speech and he's down with that and happy about that. I think there's a scene in between those two where it shows him being like, all right, what are your problems so I don't put you in this bad situation, which I, you know, like it feels like there's a thing there where it's like, here's our compromise to work together to get our mutual goal going. There's
a trust there.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, all of that reads as super, and maybe I'm a misogynist and will forgive Ben, but like I love growth in characters, and particularly father figures. Like I love the God of War the new God of Wars, right? Like I'm a sucker for that particular arc of like dads learning to be better people. And you know,
fair enough.
And so like, I'm a bit forgiving of this actually, because he's putting in the work, and I believe in rehabilitation over like revenge, right? So like, if he is actually growing and becoming a better person, I don't need him to go to jail forever if he is legitimately growing as a person.
I think there are certain directorial choices that make it seem like Ben has a deeper agenda. Like I see what you're saying, and I do see that based off of the actions that the characters take, but I will point out that the music choice, the second that Ben starts yapping, is very
it's the business music. Like it's the business music.
The business music. Like when Audrey brings it up, it's fine. Because it's kind of like the regular Twin Peaks music. And then the second that Ben starts talking, it's the business music. And I'm like, why didn't the business music start when Audrey was talking? You know,
because it's a little bit schemy. It's a little bit like,
but it's choice. It's choice, right? Yeah. Like it shows, like it makes me think a certain way about Ben when that happens. And then later in the scene, we have it's a reflection of their positioning. Is that Audrey's back is towards Ben, and then Ben is behind her talking to her back, and we can see Audrey's reaction to all of it while Ben is talking, and Audrey also can't see Ben's face. And they've used that framing as like showing that Ben is scheming behind Audrey, meanwhile while Audrey is also having like kind of like ideas of her own. That happens in like season 1 of that kind of framing. And so like that made me think like, oh, Ben is scheming something again based off of these two things that have shown previously. Now, if they were facing each other, and later in the scene, they do face each other afterwards, but it's not throughout the whole scene. I think if they faced each other throughout the entire scene, it would show that they're on equal footing and they understand each other. I think those two choices of the music and the framing of the character's positioning, I think makes people think that way. Because I definitely thought that way when I watched this scene for sure. So
I think that's fair, and I think it's a director. I do think it's a director thing, but I think what the intended thing of that is like to show that like he still has this side to him that he's fighting against, which I think is interesting. but also like we see ultimately that is not where that goes, right? Like I think that is I
think he really does support Audrey. Like he is very supportive of her. And so the framing should represent that, but it doesn't. And so I understand why people think that way, because I definitely thought of like, oh, like it made me question Ben when he was like, I read these psychology books and these philosophy books about the good in people. And then like they use the old framing of him of like being a schemer kind of deal. It's just like, it made me second guess him for a second. So yeah, did not like that. But other than that, I thought it was a good scene. Yeah.
Oh, as a scene, it's great. It's just, it is weird, that one particular framing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the next scene. We're at the sheriff's office with Andy looking at the. Okay, it's interesting. I put in my notes Andy looking at map.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it was a map. They said it was a puzzle, but I wrote it as a map. So it's funny on a meta level. But I was like, it's a map.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you're like, everyone could look at this and be like, that's a map. Like, why are you guys? That's a map. What are you guys doing?
They bring up Project Blue Book. They also bring up Josie's death and how Cooper made the connection that it was fear when Bob showed up, and Bob is attracted to fear, and that's why Josie died. Cooper also mentioned Bob slipping through time, and how Bob comes from the Black Lodge. And then it quickly cuts to Wyndham Earl, who has bugged the place so he can listen to Cooper talk about this with Harry. And then it says, fear. And Wyndham Earl says, fear, my favorite emotional state.
Now, what you wrote down was Wyndham's fave emo state. Which I can only think of as Eating Alaska. That's an emo band, right? Oh my God. No, there's another one. I had a better joke, and then I lost that as soon as I started the sentence.
Try.
Fuck, no! Good try, Nick. But maybe they should have considered closing the goddamn door so Wyndham Earl couldn't hear it. Okay, there's your emo joke.
There you go. And then he leaves Leo, and Leo is, I guess his teeth or his tongue is tied up to holding a cage of spiders above his head as Wyndham Earl leaves. And that's that scene.
Do you think there's one more episode in season 2? Do you think we see Leo again?
Ooh, I kind of want to say yes.
Okay.
I want to say yes, that they do see Leo again. That is an interesting place to leave him, though, if you don't see him again. Like, will he die or won't he die? Who knows at this point? But yeah, I do want to say we see Leo again because, yeah, going back to Leo, like, it does seem that they're trying to redeem him. Like, it does seem like a redemption thing, but it's weird. And so going with that direction, if they continue on that trajectory of redeeming Leo, then Leo does get saved. I do think that they do find Leo. They'll find him in the little cabin thing. So
okay.
Yeah. Overall, the scene is. I actually don't have too much to say about it. To be honest,
it's a lot of information. It's all information you need to internalize, but it's not something to talk about necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's just interesting. Andy, I love Andy. Andy's great. So.
So during this scene, you had been like, oh, if Andy, or maybe it's the next scene that's very similar to this, but you were like, oh, Andy being the key to this, or whatever. But it is funny that like a couple episodes of what we watched ago, you had seen him drawing and sketching in the courtroom. Right?
Yes.
And you're like, oh, that's a skill set I didn't know he had. So like, it's kind of already laid the groundwork that like in this particular area, Andy might be ahead of the curve. As far as that goes.
Okay, Andy is interesting. I think maybe it's because I've seen this trope before, but maybe Twin Peaks is the first one that has done this trope.
Probably
right?
not.
But
no, I know what trope you're talking about.
It's the trope of like the dopey character being the one to solve the most complicated puzzle throughout the entire season or whatever. Like that is a trope that I've seen before. And so like to see like, of course Andy's the key. Like, of course he is, because duh, that is a trope. But like it's just interesting that it's happening. I'm witnessing it with my own two eyes. So yeah, but the groundwork is there. I do think that they lay the groundwork better for Andy than I've seen in other pop culture media pieces. So
yeah, because he'll suddenly pop up and show like a surprising bit of proficiency where you're like, oh, okay, so like this is why you're able to have a job and be a functional person. You're not like this all the time. Like there's a level of still a person. Like, you know, where sometimes media will just like make it so they are just so much like an object of comedy rather than like being well-rounded. They give him to believe. They give him that layer of like
exactly. Yes. Okay, moving on to the theater. I renamed it the theater, but that is the bar, right?
Yes.
Like that is the bar. Okay.
Yes, that
I named it the theater, but I
that is the sex trafficking bar. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Lucy and Nadine are there. They're the prominent, and then later Lana. They're the prominent characters in this scene. I in my notes I wrote misogyny.
I'll have to double check actually if that's the bar, because that might be at the hotel. Okay, because there's a couple different locations where they do these convention center things. I think they have two separate locations of that. And they constantly get confused because they look very similar.
They look very similar, yeah.
So I'll need to double check if that's the Roadhouse or not.
Yeah, because I don't think it is the Pine Weasel stage, because I don't think it's that stage.
I don't think so either, but like I'll have to double check. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because where the bar is set up in there, it looks like it's the same place they had the wedding.
It looks like it's in a different spot from the Pine Weasel one, which is why I didn't think it was that one. Yeah.
But even at the Pine Weasel, they go to that same bar spot. So I'd have to double check, because the inside of the Roadhouse when they clean it up, and the inside of like this weird convention thing that's at the hotel, like it's they look very similar. And the fact that I've seen this 4 times and I can't give you a definitive answer shows that there's a problem here. I thought it was the Roadhouse, but then I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe I should say that so strongly. If you, dear viewers who have followed along with us, if you know, tell me. Because I don't remember. Maybe they get specific in one of the earlier episodes and I just forget.
Fair enough. Yeah, and then I wrote in big letters misogyny, because that director guy wants that one lady to bend over so he can see her boobs better. Just, great stuff right there.
It's tough because it's supposed to be misogyny and it's bad, but also like as it's happening, you can see the girl and Mr. Pinkle like add a character starting to crack up. Like as they cut away, you see them both like laughing about what a
really?
dumb
I
scene.
Didn't see that. I did not see that.
Her, another girl right behind her, and the Mr. Pinkle, the director guy, all start to crack up a little bit right at the end there, and so it makes it really hard to take it seriously when like I know it's supposed to be misogyny, but when I see the people who are just like part of it being like, oh, this is all good, I'm like, well, maybe it's all good then. Like that's your relationship and that's fine. But like it's clearly supposed to make him a creep because of what he does to the log lady later.
Yes.
And so like it's clearly that's supposed to be that's out of character, like them starting to crack up. Yeah. So yeah. It's a tough thing.
That is the shot that they chose to put in there, which is wrong, IMO. If he's supposed to be misogynistic, don't add that he's laughing about it. But anyway,
or that the girls are too. Like they seem like they're fine with it, and it's like maybe till the extras the show discussed.
Are fine with it. The actors are fine with it. It's different when the actors are fine with it versus actually showing it on screen, right? So like We got to make sure we separate those two together because he's clearly supposed to be misogynistic.
Yes. So sorry, what I mean to say is like, because of that's the shot they chose where like it shows that they're like kind of like where he and they are kind of joking about it. It's like, well, if this is in character, then it's kind of like, well, then he's just goofing off with a couple people who are fine with it and joking, you know, like whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what's supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be what it is, especially with what we see later. But then it's like, well, then why is the one where everyone's cracking up about it the shot that's kept? Because it's a TV show and they're on tight filming. I understand that.
Exactly.
But
yeah. So that's why I still don't like it. Like, even though you added that they did that, I still don't like it because it's a choice to put it in there and he's supposed to be misogynistic. And so I'm going to dislike him because he's supposed to be misogynistic.
And I think we're supposed to read it as that, as like, we're supposed to dislike him and it's in there to make him a worse person. But like, in that case, from the editing point of view, you cut that part a little bit short from before they start to crack up. And if you have to do a J cut where you keep the audio going over as you cut away to something else, then do that, right?
And do that. Yeah, exactly.
And then that way it's like, oh, okay, so he is being a creep. We're supposed to not like him.
That's what I mean by like the editing choice is choice there.
Yeah.
Because like, why would you keep that in there?
Right.
If that's not the point of it, you know, it's just sloppy. It makes it look sloppy.
Yeah, maybe it's supposed to be a joke of some sort. I don't know what the joke would be necessarily, except that he's being a creep. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the mayor and Norma and Dick are there. And they talk about judging Miss TP. I'm going to call it Miss TP from now on.
Sure.
And then Lana makes a move on Dick, which is interesting because she does it in front of the mayor. And so...
The mayor kind of gives a signal to Lana. Like...
yeah, but like... I don't know. It's weird. It's
I wasn't saying it wasn't weird.
I get that she's like, you know, trying to sleep her way into being Miss TP. I get that. It's just weird. It's all just weird.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. The next scene.
Maybe the mayor just enjoys cuckold play. Who are we to judge?
Maybe. The next scene is Coop recording to Diane, talking about Wyndham Earl, and he mentions Annie Blackburn. Annie Blackburn shows up. She says that she needs Coop's help to figure out what she needs to say for Miss TP. And then they kiss. And then kiss plus more in that scene. And so, yeah, Cooper finally gets a girlfriend, I guess. That's cute.
I would argue that they've been dating for a little while.
Well, I don't know that.
Oh, that's true. Sorry. Oh my God, I just fucked that up. I can't believe I just, oh my God. I need to leave. I can't believe I just did that.
Censor yourself.
I've done so good in so many ways, and this is the one where I'm like, well, no. Because you're absolutely right. I'm thinking of a scene you haven't seen. Absolutely. Oh my God.
It's okay. It happens. You were bound to slip up at one point.
I'm glad it's on this and not something like...
Yeah, and not something like the town blows up and everyone dies. Like...
Right.
Okay, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna bring it up because I'm sad that Audrey and Coop are not endgame. Like, I thought they were so good together. I thought, I mean, I haven't seen much of Annie, to be fair, so I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt that maybe her and Coop have a lot more chemistry together that I haven't seen yet. I've only seen them meeting. I think it was the one time where he was at the diner and she was there, and it's like it was like very brief, and he was like, he got like that googly eyes of like, ooh, she pretty, and Annie's like, yeah, and like that's all I've seen of them together. So I'm gonna give Annie a chance here, but I am sad that Audrey and Coop are not together. That makes me sad a little bit.
Did you not, just double checking, did you not see a scene of them at a bar together?
No,
okay.
I did not see that scene. Yeah.
Okay.
Just the diner scene when they met at the diner.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah. I am mourning my ship, but
since I've already spoiled a little bit of this for you, I'm going to say no, the chemistry is not as good as Audrey and Coop.
Damn it.
That said, I do think it is pretty strong, and it's definitely stronger than no, you must have seen more, because we talk about how their chemistry is better than Audrey and Jack's chemistry a little bit. So you must have seen one other scene, because we have that conversation. I don't remember what scene that would be then, but we do have that conversation of Annie and Dale are a little bit better than Jack and Audrey, but neither are as good as Audrey and Coop. Like, neither of them.
It's definitely not the bar scene. It's definitely not the bar scene that I've seen.
Yeah, maybe it was a second diner scene and it blends together, something like that.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, I have that to look forward to, I guess.
It's not bad. I like it, actually. I do like it.
Okay, all right. The next scene is Nadine giving her wrestling slideshow with Dr. Jacoby, giving a little couples therapy session between Mike and Nadine and Ed and Norma. Nadine goes, well, Ed and I are happy. And then Ed goes, yeah, Norma and I are going to get married. And then it looks like something breaks in Nadine where she's not happy about that. And she maybe breaks Mike's hand, or he severely injures him or something, because he squishes Mike's hand with her super strength. Yeah.
I think she wanted, yes, I think she wanted Ed to be jealous.
Yes.
And she wants to have her cake and eat it too.
Yes, she does. I like this scene. I think it's a very funny scene. I think it's funny how Nadine is like so completely out of it at this point, and Ed and Norma are just sitting there like this is the most awkward thing in my entire, like you can see it on their faces of like, oh my god, this is so incredibly awkward. And then Mike's kind of just there. He's kind of just there like, yeah, Nadine, I'm happy for you and your wrestling career. Yeah, I thought it was a funny scene. I really like, I don't have anything deeper more to say. I just love, I love Ed and Norma together. I guess it's like, makes me happy. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a nice little comedy scene.
It is. Okay, the next scene I'll go into is the general making his way out of the woods, and of course Hawk finds him. Of course it's Hawk.
The only man who gets anything done
the only man who
show.
gets anything done in this show is Hawk. He finds the general.
I guess arguably you could say Wyndham gets stuff done in the show too, but like
he brings Hawk in. The general sits in the sheriff's office, and then Coop sniffs him, and he smells the drugs.
I would write down haloperidol somewhere.
Haloperidol.
Yeah, keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure we've heard it once in passing already, but yeah, I would keep that in mind for some episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Coop sniffs him, smells the drugs. Andy is trying to figure out the map behind them. Coop goes on and on.
Could this have something to do with the 4-H club?
Yeah. I wrote that Coop says we have to be at the right place at the right time. And yeah, that is the end of that scene.
Yeah.
The more I have to say about the scene is in a later scene, so I'll move on to the next scene. Because I do want to talk about Andrew, Pete, and Catherine trying to break this square stone.
I could make this entire podcast about them. Like, Oh my god, I love them so much. They need their own show as like semi-villains. They're so good. This is so like this scene is so good. Like
it is. It really is. It's really good. Andrew shoots the stone, breaks it open, and there's a key inside, which Catherine puts in the cake saver. And that's the end of that scene. It's really good. They're very good. Like the chemistry between all three of them together is like top tier stuff. They do need their own show, like a little spin-off show of like, like you know, what goes on behind the I don't know, some witty title, but like they're just really
call it
together.
Packer Mill.
Packer Mill. That's
right.
It.
Yeah, like keep it simple, keep it like this is what the show is. Yeah, no, like it's so good of like Catherine not doing anything, telling them to get the steel box open, Andrew being like hurting himself trying to open it and being so pissed off he takes out his gun and just starts shooting it, and like it takes like 3 shots before Catherine, his sister, is like, Andrew, and it doesn't even sound like that upset. Like it's so much like sibling energy, and there's a great other point of sibling energy in there of like where they put it in the cake saver and Pete's like, oh, you don't trust each other. It's like, of course we do, because we're siblings, but it's like we trust each other to try to get one up on each other. Like this is a form of trust to know that that's what's going to happen. It's just so good.
It is good. It's good. Man, I guess we'll see. I want to see more of them, more of their scheming, because I don't know anything about the stone. I don't know anything about the key. I don't know anything about anything going on that scene.
One more episode after this in season 2. What do you think happens here? Like with this plot line, I'll ask on the ones that don't pop up, or like I should say don't pop up in the rest of this episode that are clearly not finished. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I asked that about the Leo thing, and now I'm asking it here. What do you think happens as far as this goes?
I want to say that the key is, where did they get that stone thing? Like that, I'm missing a little bit of information, because like, is the key like the key to the Black Lodge and they somehow get caught up in that stuff? Or is the key to like a bank safe that they have to open?
Right.
Or is the key or is the key to like something else, like a different mill or something? Like I'm curious as to what
we did hear one specific line of like maybe they can't open it, and it's Thomas's last joke on them.
Yes, yeah.
So we know it's related to Thomas somehow.
Yeah, but like Thomas's whole thing was like with Josie. So like
right.
what is like Josie obviously in the mill, right? Like is it a key to the mill? Is it a key to something inside the mill? Like that is I'm wondering
we did
where
see
that goes.
His assistant after he died drop off a box for them, a large black box.
I don't remember that at all.
We talk about how Catherine like initially is like whatever and then pulls out a gun about it and then is like, no, but show me what you have for me. And it's this big black box.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I do remember that. Okay. Maybe it's the black box. I don't know. The key kind of looks too big for that box, but
the box is pretty big. Like it was a big.
I feel like if it was a key to the box, Catherine would have said something about it in this scene.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that is true.
I don't think it's that. So
okay.
It must be a key to something else.
Sure.
I'm thinking. He thinks. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. The next scene is Donna getting ready for Miss TP. And she wants the truth about her mom and Ben. And at first I was like, her mom's going to burn the forest down with Ben or some shit like that. Like I was like, what's going on here? But then we'll talk about that later.
I think this is you saw him visit the house and hug her once, but that's all you've seen of this particular plot line.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, listen, it's not really spoiling it to go out of order and find out that Ben's her dad, because like it is so clear that that's what this plotline is from the beginning of this plotline. Like maybe not from the very beginning because you had a different theory initially, but like the second she gets the second step in there, it's like, oh, okay, so he's her dad. Okay, good. Like we solved this, and then somehow it's only wrapped up in this episode. Like it's,
I see.
not to spoil this plotline for you, but it is the most inane bullshit I've ever like been through.
Oh, okay.
In this show, I swear to God. Maybe I just don't like Donna. I'm a misogynist. We've talked about this.
Fair enough.
But like,
you said you don't like Donna.
yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I wonder what the consequence of that is, because like it's interesting that they chose the two brown-haired girls to be secret sisters. Because like it was this planned all along, or was this shoehorned in? Like I have questions.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say it wasn't planned all along. Is my guess, but maybe it was.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's interesting. I guess I'll have to see more of this plot line to get a full kind of I guess opinion about it, but as of right now, I don't like how it's executed. I think it's sloppy. I think it's a little bit sloppy. So so yeah, that's how I feel about it. Okay. Andy. There's a Cooper was talking way too fast in this scene, and I couldn't break down all the notes that I wanted.
I can break down anything you're missing. Yes.
Yes. Like I don't remember a lot about it. So I wrote 4-H Club is actually planets. Coop says that there's an injunction. And then he goes, "My God," which is very funny. I like that he says that because it's a very good execution of that line. Then they talk about General Briggs says we have to protect the Queen, and then Coop says a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo about love and fear, and how fear opens the door on one side and how love opens the door on the other side. And Harry's like, "How do you know this, Coop?" And then Coop says, "I don't know exactly, it just came to me." And I was like, oh my God. And then Andy's trying to get their attention, and then I think Coop says the Queen, and then Harry says of Romania, and then he's like, "No, Miss TP," and then they leave to go to Miss TP. Oh wait, Andy breaks the bonsai tree first, and there's a bug in there, and they're like, "Oh no, they've been listening the whole time. Let's go to Miss TP," and then they leave for Miss TP. And so that's that scene. There was a lot going on in there.
Yeah, I think you covered it all. The mumbo jumbo is cool. That like White Lodge, love, Black Lodge, fear. You don't need to know like the planets and injunctions and all that. Like that's all. That's all the like sci-fi bullshit that Mark Frost loves. Like he loves this shit. And so like that's like lore, but it's not like lore. It's more like okay. We let David Lynch do his weird thing of long takes and like weird comedy, and we let Mark Frost have these moments of like, and the plants will do this, and the spirits are aliens, or are they spirits? Like we're like, okay, like Mark Frost, we're letting you just do this. We're not gonna pay attention to it. Like that's what all this is. That part of it. The parts you need, you generally got, it sounds like. Okay. Sorry, I'm sure some people will be very upset by that explanation of it, but like let's be real here. Like
fair enough. I just love the line of Coop saying, "I don't know exactly, it just came to me." I made sure to write that verbatim.
It stands out so much. So here's my problem with this entire episode. Is that Coop is so out of character for most of it.
Yes.
Right? Like I thought this was going to come up here, but I don't see it in your notes, so I'm going to say it here. And it'll also color the next scene. But like he is so out of character. Like he is so rude to Andy in this part as Andy's trying to talk, and he's like, "No, I'm thinking." But like that's not really in his character. And I know he's panicked because of Annie, and maybe there's a whole thing of like, oh, this person I care about is now in danger. Like, sure,
Right.
but like it still feels out of character for him. And while his intuition does kind of work as like, I don't know, it's kind of coming to me. Like, usually he has an explanation for that. And in fact, this one's pretty simple and straightforward.
Right.
In that the major just said love and fear opens the doors. It's like, I've heard about the White Lodge and the Black Lodge, and we know that Wyndham's aiming for the Black Lodge. Fear opens one, love opens other. It's not like it came to me. It's like, oh, okay. Like, clearly this is what that means. Like, that's such a weird line to have in there. And, you know, and
it's
like,
such a crazy thing for him to say. It's so crazy. It's just like, why would it ruins his credibility a little bit in my eyes of like, no, you had all the puzzle pieces there in front of you. Like, why did you put this? It's funny, but like, it's kind of a throwaway line because the puzzle pieces are there, you know? So it's just,
like I think if it was like something where it's like, oh, we clearly have all this built up and we don't have time to solve it, having him do that, where he's had this innate intuition, then I can kind of see that kind of being like, all right, here's how we have to hand wave it away to get to where we're going. But they literally laid it out. Like, it wasn't like a wild leap. It was like a tiny step to get to where you got. And then you're like, I don't know. It just came to me. Like, and he's so out of character for so much of this scene. Or like, not just this scene, but like, basically after finally getting laid, like it's like all of his detectiveness went out the door. Like his entire character is just so in a brain fog of finally getting his nut out that like he's like, oh, I don't remember how to do any of this. Like it's so weird because it's like after that scene with her, where like that scene with her is still fairly in character. Then everything after that, he's so out of character, you know?
I agree. Cause like normally like he holds Andy like close to him. Like there's a certain gentleness that he holds Andy with. Like Andy is annoying, but like Coop never lets that affect how he treats him, you know? And so I agree with what you're saying 100%. So
again, that may also be intentional of him like getting so wrapped up in Annie or whatever. Like, it could be on purpose. So like, you know,
benefit of the doubt.
It's just it annoys me.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the final scene, which is all of Miss TP, which is the last 12 minutes of this episode. It's the 20th anniversary of Miss TP.
Which means Norma won the very first one. Because they said it was the 20th anniversary of her winning.
Oh, yeah.
I just put that together. Yeah.
The log lady is there. And then Bobby is helping backstage, but he gets hit by the log lady, which is actually Wyndham Earl. And then I wrote poor Bobby because he shows up and immediately gets knocked out. The same scene that he shows up in this episode.
Okay, so there's actually a thing before this where we see Mr. Pinkle being really weird and gropey of the log lady.
I meant to write that with the log lady. Yes.
Yeah. And like the actual log lady. And so this is how we know that the previous one wasn't him, you know, having fun with friends. It's him being a gross douchebag. And so, yeah. We talked about it enough back then, but like, this is where the confirmation that he is being gross back there happens.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Andy shows up at Miss TP looking for Coop, but then he gets entranced watching Lana, who's dancing on the stage.
Which, why would you?
Yeah.
Also, the opening dance to this. Speaking of dancing, the opening dance to this, their outfits in it are like, okay, a little bit can, a little bit showy or whatever, fine. But I don't get the raincoats. Like, why is...
Yeah, the raincoats were an interesting choice. I didn't understand that much.
The umbrella's good enough. I don't think you need the raincoat.
It's an interesting choice. I don't know. Weird. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry. I couldn't let this pass without bringing up their outfits and that. And like real quick, this is maybe I'll bring it up or stitch in the thing, but like their hair. Oh my god.
All right. We have Audrey making a speech talking about the trees. Then she goes backstage and says, "Thanks, Dad, for supporting me." And Ben's like, "Yeah, you go, girl." And then Donna walks up to Ben. And then this is where I'm like, Ben is the father, birth certificate. Rah, 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 rah. It annoys me that like Ben is like, okay, this is what annoyed me about the scene, right? So Donna is like, "Oh, I see Ben." Then she walks up to Ben, and Ben's like, "Oh, we can't talk about this here." And Donna's like, "No, I need answers right now. Like, tell me." And then Ben goes, "Okay, fine. So when we were younger, me and your mother, ... And then Donna
to be
goes,
fair, it takes
"No."
a little bit more than that. For this scene annoys me too, but like
I was about to say, the thing that annoys me at the scene is that she presses Ben so hard to give answers, and then Ben literally is like, "Okay, I'm about to talk about it," and then before Ben can explain what happened, she's like, "No," and then walks away. It's like, Donna, like, you worked so hard to get here to this point, and then when Ben's about to explain this to you, you walk away from him. It's just like, oh my gosh, Donna, come on, like, that annoyed me. That was the point that I was trying to get. Is that annoyed me about about Donna with that? So, yeah.
The part that annoys me about this, separate from what annoys you about this, it's a very annoying scene. Is like Ben tries so hard to be like, "Let's talk about this when your parents are around and we can have a proper discussion." And she pushes back, and he's like, "Listen, now is not the time." And then she pushes back, and he's like, "Yeah, your mom and I got together, but we need to like it's so clear that he's like giving her just enough to be like, so let's talk about this with them." And she's like, "But you're my father." Oh my, and leaves, because for her that is the answer. And it's like, because that's what she was trying to solve, is that Ben's her dad. And it's like, well, first of all, you should, again, you don't know this, but she should have solved that 4 episodes ago. Like, it's like so obvious. But separate from that, like she says it like it's a big revelation, and you're like, you dumbass woman. Like, I can't.
Oh my god.
I can't deal with this, especially when you put Ben in this awful position of really trying to do the right thing in this situation.
Yeah. Totally.
And like, he's not good at doing the right thing, and he does as much as he can. Like, oh my god. And she's a teenager, and we need to be forgiving of that, but she's so dumb. She's so dumb, man. Like,
oh my god.
Her and James deserve each other. Like, oh my god. You wouldn't think that, though. You like James. I don't dislike James, but he is stupid. Like,
he is dumb. He is dumb. I will concede on that.
Yeah, they deserve each other like Lucy and Andy deserve each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's my conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Is that Donna's dad is infertile, and
all 3 are his kids? Donna has 2 sisters that never show up, if you remember.
That never show up. Okay, I was about to say, in the other scene with Donna getting ready for Miss TP, and she comes into the living room, I thought it at the time during the reaction section while we were watching it. I thought it at the time, but I was like, where are her sisters? Like, I still haven't seen them. So my conspiracy theory is that all of them are Ben's kids.
That's interesting. I have a separate conspiracy theory that I don't think is spoilers necessarily, because it's never confirmed. So like,
okay.
I think that Ben and the mom used to get together, and then the accident that put her in the wheelchair happened while she was pregnant. And that's where she met like probably knew of and hung around the doc, but like really started to bond with the doc as being like,
right.
Now I'm wheelchair bound, and there's this doctor around who's helping me, and they bond and eventually fall in love. But the daughter is already Ben's, and I don't know if Ben was Ben definitely had to have been stepping out, because like she's the same age as Audrey. So like maybe they just decided like, oh, we're falling in love, we're gonna treat this as our kid. and then build our family separate from.
Yes, there was a conversation had there between the two.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's my conspiracy
theory more because it's more dramatic.
Oh, for sure. Yours is definitely way more soap opera than mine. I'm gonna be clear. Neither of these are answered. Neither of these are answered though. Mine's more drama, while yours is melodrama. It's so choice. But it's never answered. Spoilers. So. So that's why I felt okay sharing my theory, is because there's not an answer to this.
I see. That's disappointing, Ryoma. Why would you put that in there and not conclude it? That's annoying. Okay.
When we get to that episode, we'll talk about it.
Okay. The next part is Annie making her speech, and she does a very good job in inspiring the audience. Meanwhile, Wyndham Earl is hanging around at the top, being a creep. And then Lucy, Dick, and Andy have a moment backstage about Lucy's unborn child and how she wants Andy to be the dad. And Dick kind of just was like, great, not my problem anymore. Goodbye. And then he leaves.
I have conflicting feelings about that in particular. Because it is so funny. It's such a good little nugget of comedy. You were cracking up. It's so good. But I maintain that it would be way more interesting if this entire thing was Andy and Dick actually bonding, and trying to become the dad, bond together. And Dick is actually invested, but is actually closer to Andy than Lucy by the end. That, because them together investigating the kid and doing all that was so choice. But we've also seen them start to separate from that. And then Dick separate and not necessarily be invested in Lucy. And we've seen all of that, right? And then there's a gap from what you've seen. But you can see the trajectory pretty clearly. I think it would be so much more interesting if Dick was invested, but actually ended up being more less invested in Lucy and them being a kid, and more invested in Andy as a friend. And so when that happens, he's actually just happy for Andy. Because it gives the same energy of really funny, of cool, not my problem and you two, but also being so happy. It'd give that same comedic energy, but also you could have had this whole buildup of them being friends and the adventures they get up to together, being dumbasses together.
I see the vision, Mac. I see it.
It sucks to be disappointed at what a scene isn't, because this is a very funny scene, but it could have been better.
It could have been better. Nothing wrong with critiquing the media that you consume.
This is true.
All right. The scene changes to Annie winning on stage, and Lana is pissed at the mayor. She gives the mayor a look, and then Wyndham Earl chaos.
Real quick, what's 15 mins? 15 minis?
What did I write there?
Lana's pissed at mayor. 15 mins.
15 mins. I don't know why I wrote that. There was a lot happening. This is what I mean. The episode goes too fast for me to write notes. I don't know. I'll get back to you that on Mac. I don't know why I wrote that. Okay. Wyndham Earl, chaos. Nadine has a big weight falls on Nadine's head, and now I'm worried. What if Nadine changes after this? That'll make me sad because I like her, but maybe she'll be right in the head afterwards. I don't know. And then Annie, the stage blows up with Annie on it.
Okay, so real quick on this.
Yes.
It's so funny the way light works, because I know it's not intentional, or it's not how to phrase it. It's not they cut it out and pasted the switch into his hand, but it looks fake as shit, the remote in his hand, because it's strobe lights going off. But because this is lit, it doesn't it's not affected by the strobes that way, so it just stays solid the entire time.
It stays solid the entire time. It looks like it's floating there. Yeah,
it looks so fake. It's so funny. like it's so interesting the way light affects stuff like that, because like it's hilarious. It's unintentionally hilarious. Every time I've watched this with somebody, they're like, did they like put that in there? Yeah. And it's like, no, that's just the lighting, but it is so funny.
It looks odd. Yeah, it does look odd. All right. Annie, the stage blows up with Annie on it. Coop had one job. He literally had one job. And Wyndham got Annie. And then Andy tells Coop, it's not a puzzle, Coop. It's a map. And then it ends to the credit scene. Woo!
Yeah. Woo.
Overall, yeah, I was a little annoyed by Coop at the end there, because like
you kept saying like he has one job, he has one thing to do.
Yeah, literally they went there. He was like, I gotta protect Annie. We gotta go to Miss Twin Peaks. And then when they go to Twin Peaks, he tells Harry like, we have, you know, shit like police officers stationed at every exit and entrance, blah 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 blah. We'll find him. And then Harry's like, okay, Coop, we got this. And then Coop's job is to and then he tells and then he says to Harry, after the winner is chosen, we need 24 hours surveillance on the winner. And Harry's like, got it. And then Coop watches Miss Twin Peaks, sees the winner, you know, happen, and then the lights start going crazy, and he just stands there. Like, his first immediate thought isn't to run up to the stage and protect Annie, it's to watch Annie.
Doc Hayward escorts her away.
Yeah, and then he gets like all like messed up, and it's just, oh my god, it's like so frustrating to watch, because like he had one job. It's just like, I know it has to happen because plot point.
Right.
Like, it's like how I would do it is like, you know, Coop runs up on the stage while the lights are going crazy, and then Wyndham Earl knocks Coop out. Like, that's it. Like, he just like pushes Coop off the stage. Coop hits his head on a table or something and is like momentarily passed out or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what
that's all that needed to happen.
That's what the explosion was supposed to be, but it took so long to get to the explosion. You're like, how did Coop not already fix this?
Not do anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like even like have Coop jump on the stage and protect Annie, and then have the explosion happen while he is on the stage. Like, he jumped up after this explosion happened, and I'm like, what's that gonna do? It's just, that was annoying to me.
Here's a better, like, have the explosion cause the blackout, and then you're like, where's Coop this entire time? And then show him coming to as it ends, and you're like, oh, he was hit by the explosion immediately, you know? And that would make sense for the blackout. That explains.
Yep. He had one job. And
I mean,
failed at it.
why did they continue with the Twin Peaks pageant in the first place with this going on?
True.
Or if you're so worried about Annie in particular, like, why did you like not like pull her from the competition?
Pull her aside, like go backstage for a second and warn her. Like,
give us that scene of at least at least have him say something like that, of like, maybe have a quick line of like, let's shut it down, and then like have someone to be like, well, it's too important to the town or whatever. At least address this stuff, right?
Address it. Yes, exactly.
I rated this too highly. I'm gonna see if you agree with this rating, but spoilers, no.
Okay.
So I rated this too highly, and I think part of it is that every time I've ever seen this episode, it's as a part 1 of a part 2. And if you see where I rate the following episode,
okay, let me pull it up real quick.
I'm not going to like say where it actually is, but like everybody knows that this is going to be very highly rated. For your information, I rate this as my 3rd favorite. The following episode is my 3rd favorite. We're not going to get to it till the end of the series of what we're watching.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll accept that.
Yeah, season 2, episode 22. So like, cut here. So like, as it's attached to this other part that I do rate a lot better, and like the build to that part and the payoffs to that part, in my brain, I like this a lot more. But then I watched it with Evie. We just got past this part.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this by itself, like looking at the context of what we're going to be watching it as, isn't that good. It's not that strong. Coop's out of character. The editing is kind of all over the place. You talked about how it's like so packed and squished together. Like a lot of it isn't actually functioning very well. It's just that like it's a build up that has a payoff that I rate highly. So right. Reflecting back on it in that context, I'm like, oh, this drops like a few different spots, you know, like.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Okay.
That said, do you agree with my rating? How we watched it this time?
Okay, I liked this episode because it is like, it was just a fun episode to watch, but it was very densely packed. Like, I did not like the pacing of it. Like, I liked it because I was getting so much. I was like gobbling it up. I was like, yeah, give me more. Yeah, the Black Lodge. Yeah, like I was gobbling up. But like, I can see that if you watch this in order, it's a very like, there's a lot to intake in this episode, and they pack a lot in it. Like, it could have been, it didn't have time to breathe. And then immediately after this is like the season finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, there's a lot to take in there. So, yeah.
Well, even when it released on TV, it was released back to back.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
So it flowed from this one into the next episode. And so like it just felt like it was building momentum, right? Like it being so densely packed feels like it's like propelling you forward to this finale.
Yeah.
But if you're not watching it in that way, you're like, well, this is just a whole lot. This is a dense.
It's just a lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I was like, I was gobbling it, but like I think upon rewatch, I'll have to. I think maybe my opinion will change. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I liked the scenes that I got. Like I guess the things that like sold it for me is like Leo at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then Andy kind of being the, like I could see the groundwork for Andy trying to save the day here. I liked the wrap up of Audrey and Ben, Nadine and Ed Norma scene with Mike. And then that's it. Like I loved those scenes, and those like push it forward for me, I guess, is kind of where I'm at with it. So
yeah, it's weird that like what has been the grounding force of like the favorite part of Twin Peaks is Coop, and he's like so not part of the good parts of this.
Yes.
Yeah, like he's in this episode, but he's not part of the good parts of this episode generally. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
fair enough. Well, you know, that's why I rate it the way I do, is it was a mistake.
Fair enough.
And so I knew as we were coming up to this one, I was like, oh, I really messed up on this. I messed up on this one. Especially as we watched like season 1, episode 7 and season 2, episode 5. I was like, oh no, these are a lot better. Yeah. But yeah, so spoilers, we're not going to go forward on that one in particular anytime soon. So what where do you think this all leads as a season finale?
As a season finale, okay. Fan fiction time. Okay.
Yes.
I think that the map.
Oh, real quick. Sorry. I know you're doing a thing, but like tying this back into season 1 and you thinking the Laura Palmer thing's still going on to a degree or whatever. We get a mention of Laura Palmer in this episode. Just real quick.
When? When was that?
In the diner scene, the second one where they're like,
oh yeah,
it's important, and it's like
Laura Palmer. Yes, that's
right.
Yeah,
it's important. It'll be good for the community. Like Laura Palmer, kind of bringing up that idea.
Yeah.
So like, I'm only bringing that up to be like, so do you think that's going to factor into the season finale? Because you still think there's loose ends to this mystery of Laura Palmer.
Yes.
Do you think that factors in at all?
I do think that does factor in it. Like, I do think that, like, you know, all the Wyndham Earl stuff will take precedence. Like, I do think that all of that will happen. You know, whether they defeat Wyndham Earl or blah 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 blah. I don't know at that point. But the thing that brings me back is during that season, I think it's season 1, episode 2, where Donna is comforting Laura's mom, and then Bob shows up at the end of the bed. He's the bed guy, the guy with the hair. And how Bob still ties in with this whole Wyndham Earl thing. Like, he's still, you know, like, he's shown up in season 1, and then he is mentioned in this episode. And so I do think that Laura plays a part of it. Now, is it the spirit of Laura that is this? Like, is she? Here's a thought, right? Bob is like fear, like he's Black Lodge guy, like he is like, right. I am. He's connected with fear, all that kind of stuff. Is Laura love? Is Laura the spirit of the White Lodge? Is she the representative of love here? Is kind of where my mind goes of where like, because she has like all these people that care about her and stuff. And like, you know, I mentioned it in a previous episode of like, you know, Laura did victimize kind of the people around her, you know, James,
Bobby,
you know,
even
Bobby even, yeah, exactly. Like, Laura wasn't
definitely
Donna, yeah, for sure. Donna, putting her in like that situation that I didn't think was safe.
Yeah.
But it, like, those are people that still care about her, right? Like, is she a representation of love and the people that surround her that love her still, you know, is kind of where my mind goes of like how this is all connected. Because it does, I do think Laura plays a part in this. It's just, maybe it's not her murder that is solved now. Like, maybe that is solved, quote unquote solved. I don't think it's solved, TBH. Like, I think they like, part of me still thinks that like they don't really know what happened with Laura. I think Leo plays a big part of it, but because he's in a vegetative state, like, because it's assumed it's assumed that Leland Palmer, you know, is the one that hurt Leo. I think that is what happened. I haven't gotten confirmation of it yet, but from the circumstantial evidence of him being on trial, blah, 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 I do think that he had a part in like Leo's vegetative state. But like, because they put Leo in a vegetative state, he wasn't able to testify on his behalf of what actually happened to Laura. I do think that Leo had a big part of it, but I no longer think that Leo is the one who pulled the trigger. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't think he was the murderer necessarily. And so like, part of me still thinks that that's unsolved. And so that's why I'm like, what is going on around Laura here? Like, I feel like the pieces are there. It's just, I'm not connecting them correctly just yet. And so
I guess on a similar line as that, do you think of Bob as a spirit, or do you think he's like a person, like a shaman who got connected to the Black Lodge and now has mystical powers, but is like this killer?
No, I think he is a representation of the Black Lodge, like a physical representation of the Black Lodge. Because I don't think the Black Lodge is like a physical location. I think the Black Lodge is like a dimension. I think it's like a spiritual kind of place of like fear and where all that. I'm thinking back to that one cutscene of Missing Pieces. And how there's all those like evil things in the room and they're all talking backwards to each other. And I'm like, is that like, I feel like that is the Black Lodge. And then it's here's my fan fiction again.
Go for
That
it.
is the Black Lodge. That room where all the evil people are talking backwards, that's the Black Lodge. It is surrounded by curtains. If you pass through the curtain, it enters into that one room where Cooper is in that one scene, where it's nothing but like a pedestal and there's like a ring in the pedestal. And then maybe past the other curtains is the White Lodge. Like it's connected together somehow. And Coop is in the middle between the two. And they're like they're all connected and blah 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 blah. Like that's my thought process behind that, is like the it's a dimension. It's like it's not an actual physical place. It's just a thing of being, and Bob is the representation of that. I think that's what I think.
Okay. Some real strong ideas in there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I can't say one way or the other, so
yeah.
So I'm just validating your thought process because I see
validating my fan fiction theories.
Yeah, well, I see it, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're the next episode we're watching, if you have the list up. What do you think happens in there, without giving away how close or far it may be?
More backstory to the events that happen in this episode. More backstory.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty clear.
That's what I want. That's what I want, and that's what I need, and that's what I will get. So.
Yeah. Spoilers. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that wraps up all of the regular questions I have about this. I talked about my rating, so I think that's it. All right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching, and always remember to brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth.
Okay, I suddenly had this idea, and I want to get your reaction. For the past few episodes, like there's a period there where you felt things had gone to normal, and we see it in your notes. And while they do get fleshed out, you're not feeling like these episodes are particularly dense. And then suddenly we bounce back, and they're dense again, and we keep bouncing back and forth. And each time it feels like you've said, there's a lot in this episode, or this is dense in XYZ way, right?
Okay.
My question being, do you think that's ever going to level out for you with the way we're watching this? Do you think you'll go back to a place where you're like, this isn't that dense?
I'm looking at the episodes. Okay, I think the next chunk of episodes is like, okay, the next 3 episodes I think are gonna be how I feel about watching the first couple episodes when we started this project, right? The next 3. And then the next couple ones after that, like I want to say the next 3 or 4 episodes. Oh shit, there's a season. Oh, can I say that? I don't know if I
Go for it.
There's a season 3 episode in there, which will be the first season 3 episode that I've watched.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna feel like a fish out of water watching that again. How I feel about it is like I do the densely packed episodes are usually the ones where it's a jump to an episode that isn't connected to anything. So like season 1, episode 2, season 1, episode 7, the very first episode we watched, which is season 2, episode 15. And then this episode, because they're like, I don't have anything to connect it to. Okay. And so I think the next big one that I'm going to feel this way about is that season 3 episode that's in there.
Okay. So you think the next ones will level out and be less dense for a little while?
Yeah, I think it'll be less tense for a little bit, because like the next one especially, like I think I've seen the previous episode. Yeah, I did see the previous episode towards that. So I kind of know like what to expect with that. Same with the episode after that one. Wow, is that the first time we're watching it in actual chronological order? Like we're watching
Like back to back
yes, it
that
is.
way?
Like
yes.
back to back. Yeah, that is the first. Wow, you're spoiling me, Mac, with the next 2 episodes. I'm not gonna feel so out of water-ish there. So that's exciting.
Yeah. We almost had that with season 2, episode 4 and season 2, episode 5.
Yes,
there were a couple episodes in between those, but like you almost had that experience. But now you're gonna watch 2 and you're gonna be like, oh, this is what the show felt like.
Yeah. That's exciting. So yeah, I do think it will level out then. It will level out definitely within the next couple episodes. And then that season 3 episode in there is like, I'm eyeing it. I'm like counting down towards it kind of deal.
Hey,
so
same. I'm excited for where we're at in the series. I think after the next couple, we're in the good section, I would call it right now, right? And you, it sounds like you thoroughly enjoyed the previous episodes too. If you're like, oh, this is clearly much better than what we saw before, and now I understand why there was this fall off. Like you said that directly, is you're like, oh, the quality is clearly higher here. We're in the clearly higher area. I rate season 3 very highly. There's a point coming up very soon where it's going to be like, okay, and now we're in just the like top shit I've ever seen, and that's like halfway through the series. That's how much of this show I rate highly. Like,
fair enough. Okay,
if we were to be rating it, we're currently in like the upper 7.8 to 8.0 rating for me personally. And we're about to jump. There's a huge jump where I'm about to be like, yeah, so this is about 8.5 to 9 for me personally. And then from there, it just keeps going. Like I'm so we're right on the cusp. But yeah, since the last few episodes, you keep talking about like, yeah, it was dense, and I was wondering if you felt like it was just going to continue to be dense, or whether you're going to find your footing. So it sounds like you think you're going to find your footing before I pull the rug out again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.